Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to Let's Play Rhem 4, The Golden Fragments. I'm coming to you from my new apartment here in Colorado, which is amazing. Guys, oh man, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about what I can do for the channel here, now that I've got more space and I think I'm going to have more time. Well, I'm saying that now, who knows, but it's just going to be incredible. I really love it here so far. It's only been a week, but it's already been an incredible week. But anyway, you guys don't want to hear me talk about that. You guys have been waiting for this game for forever. I've received a lot of requests for Rhem 4, and now is the perfect time to do it. For those of you who watched my Revolt Let's Play, in the last episode I teased a new Let's Play. This is not going to be that one. This is one I'm doing in preparation for that one, just because that one's going to take a while and I wanted to put something on the channel. So I thought, what better than the one thing that everyone's been waiting for, and especially since I haven't had anything going up lately. So I figured this would be a good game to play. Now, a few things about this. The music you're hearing in the background, yeah, this is the music I consider the annoying music in this game. It plays every time you access the options, the menus, the inventory. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I'm just not a fan of it, but hopefully it's not going to be too much of a problem. We'll see how it goes. The other thing is that, for those of you who have not seen the other 3 Rhem games, once again, don't worry if you haven't seen them. Pretty much the whole idea behind this game is that some dude sends us in to do some stuff and get some things and explore a place, and we do and get those things and explore the place. And that's it. I mean, there's really not much to it. If you've played Myst, then you kind of know the style of gameplay that the designers here are going for. I do encourage you guys to check out those other LPs just because I thought they were pretty fun to do, and I thought the games were a blast, but you don't have to understand this one. You can watch this one first. There's some information here about the cursor. It shows you all the different configurations of the cursor depending on what's going on. So that's not too hard to understand. This, let's see what this says. I think this is just, yeah, credits and whatnot. So, let's go ahead and get started. One more thing I'm going to go ahead and say is that I received a request to not end my videos with like an outro or a closing greeting kind of thing. And I agree with this because this game is probably going to be a little longer than the other 3, and I generally want to keep them around the same length. So I'm going to try to devote as much time during the videos as I can to actual gameplay. So this is pretty much going to be the only real talky part of this LP. So let's go ahead and get started.
Dear friend, many thanks for embarking on the journey to Rhem yet again. I am sending you off with the black crystal because you will likely need it. I examined it and came to the conclusion that it is the key to a still unknown part of Rhem. I am including the results of my research, which you will need to activate the crystal. All the best for your journey. Please say hello to my brother Kales for me. Zetais.
Alright, well, Zetais is sending us yet again to Rhem to retrieve another thing for his brother Kales. Yada yada yada, we know how it goes. And we're taking yet another train ride into Rhem. We still don't quite know how Rhem connects with the outside world. It is kind of a little bit odd. And by the way, I apologize for the frame skipping and sound kind of skipping, if you want to call it that here in this animation. I think that's just because I'm recording right now. I mean, sometimes it happens even if I'm not recording, but I think another part of it is I'm running this on a virtual PC instead of like on my native computer. Because this can't really work on Macs, which is a bummer. But thankfully this is, well, there are a few more animations, but it shouldn't detract from the gameplay too much. But here we are, we've reached the portion of Rhem that we will be exploring. And we get the sorry noise! It's been a while since we've heard sorry noises. It's been a while since I've said the words sorry noise, hasn't it? Alright, well let's take a look around here. Pretty nice area other than these really dead looking trees. Yeah, another one here too. Let's see what we have here. We've got a little hut with 4 concentric circles. So we can move this little marble thing around. And it seems like these operate independently of each other, depending on the circle you're on. So yeah, this one has 3, this one has 4, this one has 5, and the middle one has 2. Let's set all these back to where they were. There's also something we can see here. It looks like there's something that plugs into a slot, and we can put something in the slot. And this is kind of like the secret library thing in Rhem 3, where you have clues here. The only clue we have so far is what Zetias gave us. But we don't really know what any of this means yet. But let's go and look at our inventory, which can be accessed in the box. We have the black crystal from Rhem 3, but it looks like that's probably not going to fit here. Nope, so we're going to have to find something else for that. Ooh, what have we got here?
Hello again, I'm Kales. Since you were last here, I have discovered an entrance to yet another new part of Rhem. According to records I've found, there is a hidden transportation system that leads to a second connection to the outside world. In order to activate this system, and also to enable your own return, you must find all 9 fragments of the key to the system. Good luck.
Okay, so much like the last game, there's kind of a fragmented MacGuffin thing going on here. I will say that I love the fact that you got Kales. I do like calling him Kales, not mainly just because Kales reminds me of the Klingon from Star Trek. And oh hey, we can look at this light bulb. And it seems like that light bulb was in a slot similar to the one over there. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but I want to continue exploring. We have a door here. We can set these squares into different configurations. And that seems to be the button that checks our work. There's also a panel here that displays 6 squares, with the 4th one shaded. And we can't change this, but there is a thing here that shows 4 dots along 4 concentric circles. Well, that certainly looks familiar. And this, come to think of it, also is a bit familiar as well, since there are different settings here, and different numbers as far as how many settings there are in each group. There's one that's 2, one that's 3, one that's 4, and one that's 5. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and input that configuration of the dots in here and see if something happens to the door. So let's see, what we saw was, let's see, we started out here, and then we went to this one, and then this one, and then this one. Okay, will that do anything for this? No, we probably have to enter something here, but we don't know exactly how those dots and how those squares relate to each other yet. Well, there's still one more thing we have yet to try. Aha! There we go. So the one group of 2 has the 2nd square shaded, the group of 3 has the 3rd one shaded, the group of 4 has the 4th one shaded, and the group of 5 has the 3rd one shaded. Now notice that these are in a completely different order than what was on the doorway. The doorway had 4, 3, 5, 2, and this one has 2, 4, 5, 3 as the order of the groups. So let's go ahead and go back and input that. One thing I will mention is that during my practice run of this, I accidentally put in the right combination and then tested the button out. And it was all on the first try. Like I went 4, 3, and then I went for the middle one and then this last one. And then pressed the button and it opened up. And I was so shocked that it actually worked. Well, let's see what's over here. Oh. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I got the answers for all these here. So I'm just going to go ahead and input them so we don't have to go through the tedium of having to go all the way back and forth and look at all these. So let's do it that way. This is the 3rd slot, which has 2, 2, 1, 1. Oh, that door moves down. Let's see what we have here. We have a camera symbol. That doesn't do anything. Where does this go, though? It goes through this panel, and that wire goes all the way back over to this area and around the side of the little wall here. There's a box here with 9 slots, which seems to suggest this is where we put all those fragments that we've been hearing about. Well, I'll just go ahead and put the other combinations in, and then we'll continue exploring. How does that sound? So the 6th one is 1, 2, 3, 2. I'll come back to that in a minute, so I'll just go ahead and go through all these other ones. This is the 2nd one, which is 3, 1, 2, 2. The fifth one is 3, 1, 4, 1. Excellent. And finally, the first one is 1, 3, 5, 1. That should be all of them. Now, if you know anything about the Rhem games, you know that if you have the opportunity to pick something back up after you use it, then you should pick it up. So I'm going to go ahead and get that light bulb back, since we don't really need this anymore, at least not right now. And we'll be on our merry way. Let's go ahead and continue taking a look around here. So let's see, we came from there, we've been through this one, but we haven't been through this one. Oh, there's a diagram here with some crosses on it. And we can take a picture of it. Much like we had the secret library in the last game, we can take pictures of various clues here. And you can also type some things out here as well. But we don't really know why we need to do that right now, so I'm just going to leave that be. But we can access this whenever we need to, so that's a good thing. What do we got here? We got a microphone and another camera-like thing. I guess this shows us the feed from out there. So this is the screen and that's actually a camera. So maybe this is where Kales recorded his message or something? I mean, there is a microphone here. And there's the tracks that we will travel on at the end of the game. A door we can't get through, sadly. Well, let's continue onward. Let's continue going clockwise. I think that's a good strategy for now. This one leads over here toward this windy path. Very rocky area. I guess that's kind of nothing new for Rhem, but the last game seemed to have a little bit more variety in terms of the outdoors. This opens up an oval door that leads into some sort of wooden thing. We can tap this wall, which suggests that it can somehow be manipulated, but we can't really do anything with it at the moment. We can see a pentagonal-shaped door over there. Well, that's a dead end for now, so let's just go ahead and head back. I do like the diagonal hands, so that you don't have to click an extra time. Alright, what about over here? Anything over in this door? We have a little hut thing. Seems like this hut requires a key, though, which we don't have, so we'll have to come back later for that. Alright, so finally we have door number 1. Alright, so this door leads to yet another path. Another one of those dead trees over there. And it looks to be kind of like a fortress wall here. It's kind of curious. And here we have a clock, which is on 12 o'clock, I guess, and some white flowers here in front of it. And here we have a clock that's moving, but it only has 8 different spots. That's interesting. We can take this fuse, which stops the clock. Oops. Here we go. So if we put it back, will it go again? It does. Let's leave it at 12 o'clock. This moved to 1 o'clock and the flowers change colors. It's rather interesting. Now the flowers are yellow instead of white. Curious. Well, we've got a few different choices here. We can go left, we can go straight, or we can go right. I think I'm going to go left first. See what's through here. I don't know why this game is lagging so much. I'm going to see what I can do between videos. Alright, so here we have what looks to be kind of a house of some sort. There's a closed door, a TV over here. Let's try turning that TV on. Nothing happened, but maybe this switch will do something. We also have some sort of diagram here showing that there's 1 and then 2, and then this arrow comes down from 2 to 1, suggesting that this comes first or something. Huh, still nothing. Let's just set it back to the original position. There's also a door over here. We can see like an outlet here where a cord gets plugged in, and that also runs over here to where the TV is. In fact, let's see, we can see that this one wire goes here to the TV and the other wire goes to the door. That's interesting. So it looks like we're going to have to power something up to get any of that to work. And here we have a bedroom. Let's read this. Looks to be a journal here. A few days ago, I arrived in this part of Rhem. I will set up a studio for myself here. I have not been able to find the star key, but it appears I have to look for 9 fragments. Near the railway line, I found a box to collect the fragments in, which we saw. Some entrances to some of the buildings could be open, but at the moment I can't make any further progress. It feels like weeks or even months have passed. My search has been pretty unsuccessful. In a straw-roofed hut, there is a fireplace where some missing parts can be joined together. I'll lock the hut again, but we'll leave behind clues about how to open the door. In the studio, I will also leave behind 2 other clues for which I couldn't figure out a use. I'm exhausted and discouraged, but I cannot leave this part of Rhem at present. However, there is a glimmer of hope, for it seems that there is some kind of alternative transport system near the railway line. An unexpected success! By chance, I discover the key to a cave system where there is yet another gate with a star lock. Unfortunately, I can't open the gate. I waited a long time and occasionally saw the cave inhabitants, the redcoats, but none of them seemed to use the gate. Again, many weeks have passed. Maybe it's not possible to find the star key here, and I will have to look for it in another part of Rhem. I'll continue tomorrow. Examine the room with a strange column in the middle. It is now clear to me that I cannot proceed any further alone. I cannot open the gate without the black crystal that the messenger discovered on the most recent journey to Rhem. It also seems that the secret of this room involves another area where wires on central walls build an electrical circuit. I will wait a few days and hope that the messenger with the black crystal and records of my brother Zatias soon appear. Last Wednesday I was sick and had to stay in bed. I'm feeling better now, but I'm discouraged and wish to leave this area. The alternative transport system near the railway line must be activated. The star key seems impossible to find. Moreover, without the black crystal, I don't have entry to the other areas. Even though I lack the patience to wait any longer, I'll record a video for the messenger. Well, we saw the video, which is cool. We also have this violet bird here above his bed. That's neat. Nothing under his pillow this time, though. But we do have something behind this curtain. We can see a house with 5 chimneys. We can see our own hand cursor and 5 arrows pointing to the chimneys. And then there's these trees with balls around them and lines that somehow all lead to a lever or something. Now, we don't know what that means yet, but hopefully one day we will. And we've got this diagram which shows some circles that are rather reminiscent of that clock that we saw outside. Let's take a picture of that for later use. And then we have this LT thing here. We can set some dots here. But we can't open this up, so it looks like we're going to need a combination to make this work. Huh, what does this do? We have one button here that's not shaded on the edges, so let's see. That one blinks, and that one blinks. Well, let's just keep following the trail here. These buttons kind of look familiar though, don't they? And then this one. Well, you might recall earlier that that diagram on the wall showed us that there were buttons numbered in a certain order, but then an arrow suggested that they go in a different order, the reverse order that you would see. So, let's go ahead and put in the reverse order. So the first button we need to press is this one, and then we go backwards with what we saw earlier. So you can see that the last button that we press is being highlighted. And there we go! We gain access to this new area. What do we have here? We can see that wire come out through the wall here. And leads into this other building. Doesn't look like there's really anything of interest on the left side though. Here we can see that it goes into this section here where 2 wires go into it. And we can see these intersections, which look to be what Kales may have been talking about in his journal. We can highlight them here with our hand, and we can also switch these around as well. What are we ultimately switching them to? It looks like this. So, it seems reasonable to assume that the power comes from this box, and we have to route it such that it goes here into, well, ultimately here, but that leads over here into this wall and beyond to Kales' house. Now, there are actually two different solutions to this puzzle. I'll show you both of them. One of them involves, let's see, we're facing south. Alright, so let's do this. And then the other side is set like that. The other solution involves doing this on this side, and then on the other side, you kind of have a mirror thing going. Much like the first solution, but this time it's like this, using the south ones instead. So those are both combinations you can use. You may think that this unlocks this door, but it actually doesn't. But there is one other thing that's rather notable in this room that you may have noticed already, and that is these symbols on the walls. We can see this kind of hill-shaped one, this one which is a square, and these ones that kind of remind me of the first level of Super Mario Brothers. In fact, we get like an uphill one and a downhill one. And we saw these earlier here on Kales' thing where they had numbers. We had 62, 19, 33, and 75. We also see a compass on the floor which points north. So this symbol could be associated with north, which by extension means that this is west. The complete hill is east, and the square is south. Again, we don't really know if we're going to need to use that or not, but it's something worth noting, though. But that's all we can really do here for now, so let's go back to where we came from and go onward. I'm going to save the middle path for a little bit later. I'm going to go through here first. This seems to be that thatched roof cottage thing that Kales was talking about in his journal. Thatched roof cottages! Yeah, if you know what I'm referencing there, kudos. Alright, so we've got a couple of contraptions that we can explore and tinker with here. We got this one with these buttons, and we got this other one here with like a grid thing, and some colors we can set it to. There's also some stuff here on the wall. We don't really know what that means. So what does this do? 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. Well, okay, so it just repeats that. 1, 5, 3, 4, 2. 1, 5, 3, 4, 2. What about this one? 1, 3, 2, 5, 4. Huh, okay. What about this one? 1, 1, 1. Oh. Well, maybe this somehow is related to it, since this connects directly to this part of the panel where the button is. Let's try going 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Aha! So it seems like we can set the order that this goes in. We can't open that though, but it seems like this is suggesting that the key to open this door is somehow related to this puzzle. Well, we have seen crosses before, and they were on this clue here. We have one that says 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, which we saw in one of the buttons. We have another one that says 1, 3, 2, 5, 4, which we also saw. 1, 5, 3, 4, 2. But this one we have not accounted for yet. 1, 4, 5, 2, 3. Let's see what happens if we try this. Yep, that is the order that we set it at. So let's see if that opened the door up here. No? Hang on a sec. 1, oh wait, 1, 4, 5, 2, 3. My bad. There we go. Now we can go inside. We still don't know what we need to do with this yet, though, but let's see what we can find in here. We got some scribbly drawings. It's kind of weird. This is one that shows a house and a wagon and... Wait. What was that? this got highlighted. Curious. This one, that's highlighted red. This one is green. And over here we've got this blue E kind of shape. And also notice that there is an L and a T here with some cherries from this tree that are marked here in certain positions. And that there's a violet bird, much like the one that we saw in Kales' room. I don't think that's a coincidence. We may have to try out this LT combination and see if that does anything into that cabinet there in his room. There's also something over here, but nothing seems to work. Kales had also mentioned a fireplace in the hut, but it looks like we can't really get into it at the moment. Does that provide power to this? It does, okay. So we can set these dots here to different combinations, but we don't really know what the combination we need is. Those shapes, though, look like the ones we saw out here, so I think what we need to do next is work on setting these to the right configurations. So this is blue, which means that this is that E thing that we saw. Yellow was the vertical line with two horizontal lines sticking out of it. Green was this kind of forky thing. And then finally red was the T with two hashes on it. There we go. And we get to see the configuration that we need to set the thing inside at. We get two here, or one in the middle, and then two here, top and middle, and then all three, and then one at the top, and then two, one at the top and bottom. So let's remember that. Whoops, I missed it. Then this is this. And then finally, whoops, it was the top one, wasn't it? And then this one is the one with the, there we go. So does that work? Maybe we need to turn this on. No? There we go, we can open this up. Kales had also mentioned putting something together here in the oven, so maybe we need to do that before we press this button. At any rate, we need more information here, so let's just leave this be for now. At least we solved the puzzles out here in the outside area. There is still one area that we have not explored yet, and that is this pathway to the door over here. There's some round device here that we can put something inside. Is this where we put the black crystal? Kales had mentioned reaching a dead end, right? Maybe this is it. There we go. Well, it places it in this little canister thing here, but that didn't really do anything. We got a bunch of stuff around here to look at, so let's check this out. First of all, can we get through the door? Of course not. We do have a lot of different contraptions around here. We got one where we can cycle through different, like, hash mark configurations. And one where we can set numbers. And there's also something that changes a color. What does this do? Okay, well that doesn't do anything right now. There's also another one of these little buttons over here. But that also doesn't work. So it seems like we're going to need to set these panels with the hash marks and these boxes with the numbers to certain numbers and hash mark configurations. Well, we've seen some numbers before. We've seen them in this, I keep mixing these up, this thing, with these different symbols. And we've also seen hash marks in the wire crossing sections there in that power room. So, the only thing that really connects these two things together as far as a common denominator is concerned are those shapes that we saw. But how can we translate the shapes into what panel goes to what shape, or which cabinet goes to which shape. Well, notice that each of the panels and each of the cabinets are located on a different side of this room. And we are facing north, west, east, south, the major cardinal directions whenever we face any given panel or cabinet. So let's use the connection we made between the shapes and the compass points to help us out here. So west, first of all, that's this one, equals 62. North is 19. South is 33. And finally, east is 75. Alright, so does that do anything? Not yet, so we're going to need to still set these guys. But we have a bit of an issue here, because what the game doesn't tell you is if the settings for these things correspond with what wall is facing which direction, or if the wall is on a certain side of the room. For instance, when we were facing the south wall, we were facing north in actuality. Well, as it turns out, it actually goes by which direction you're facing, not which wall is on what side of the room. So let's say, for instance, this over here, this one, let's see, we're on the south end. This one needs to be set to this one. Even though we were facing north, or excuse me, this one needs to be, even though we were facing south, and this is the north end of the room, this is actually what we need to be using here. I know it's really confusing, but it goes by which direction you're facing, not by which wall is on which side of the room. So that is for that. This one is for west, which is that. And again, the compass for east and west is reversed from what you thought it would be. It is kind of like a real-life compass in that regard. And then finally, let's see, this is north, which is already set to the right one. And then east is the 2 going vertical and 3 horizontal. So now let's see what that does. Sweet, it shot off some lasers there. And we had set this thing to green, so it shot off green lasers, but that didn't seem to do anything. We can check the door to be sure. The only other thing that we haven't looked at since we got all the stuff configured correctly is this. That shows us a purple rectangle. So let's see if setting this to purple does something. Aha! There we go. We have gained access to a new part of Rhem.